Zizi Village was a quiet land tucked deep in the heart of Ghana, surrounded by dense forests and red clay roads. Despite its peaceful look, it held a chilling silence after sunset. No drums, no singing, no festivities. Villagers spoke of an ancient curse tied to a forbidden drum, one that had not been touched for centuries. The story went back 300 years. The chief of Zizi stole a sacred drum from the Ajuana tribe during a brutal war. The gods, furious at this disrespect, cursed the land. From that day on, any sound of the drum after sunset would bring death and misfortune. Ama Asore, a spirited journalist from Accra, arrived in Zizi Village with the hope of capturing untold traditions for her travel blog. She was curious, bold, and sometimes reckless. The silence of the village fascinated her. While other villages lit up with drums and fire at night, Zizi turned into a ghost town. Ama stayed with the local herbalist, Nana Dd, a quiet old woman who watched Ama's movements closely. "Stay away from the shrine," Nana warned one evening. "That's where the curse lives." But Ama, eager for a story, did the opposite. One hot afternoon, she ventured into the forest behind the chief's palace. There, hidden beneath thick vines and broken clay idols, she found the old shrine. Inside, wrapped in Kent cloth and surrounded by bones, lay the legendary drum. Dark and cracked, it still smelled of blood and smoke. That night, as the village slept, Ama sneaked back into the shrine. Fueled by palm wine and adrenaline, she hit the drum. Once. Twice. 3 times. The sound echoed through the trees. The next morning, all the village goats were found dead. The river ran with black mud. And a strange red mark appeared on Ama's chest, the exact symbol carved on the shrine walls. Panic spread fast. The villagers believed the curse had returned. Ama was dragged before the chief, a Brempong, who was old, stern, and visibly shaken. He ordered her immediate exile. But his grandson, Kwaku, a calm and thoughtful young man, disagreed. Secretly, he had admired Ama's bravery. That night, Kwaku helped her escape into the forest. As they fled, thunder cracked through the sky. When dawn broke, a servant found Chief Abrempong dead in his stool room. Eyes wide open. Mouth frozen in a scream. Foam at his lips. The curse had claimed its first victim. And the village would never be the same again. The death of Chief Abrempong sent shockwaves through Zizi Village. The elders called an emergency meeting to choose a successor, but even before the rituals could begin, chaos descended. A woman named Adwoa appeared from Kumasi, elegantly dressed, carrying documents, photos, and a marriage certificate. She claimed to be the secret wife of the late chief. The villagers were stunned. Mame Ifua, the chief's known widow of 40 years, nearly fainted. Adwoa revealed that she and the chief had secretly married during his business trips to Kumasi. Not only that, but they shared a daughter, a young woman named Isi, who had just completed university in Cape Coast. With papers and photo albums as proof, the elders had no choice but to listen. Adwoa had come to claim her share of the land and, more importantly, a stake in the hidden gold deposits the chief had been mining in secret. Her arrival split the village in two. Some supported her claim, others saw it as betrayal. But the real scandal exploded when Kwaku, the chief's grandson and presumed heir, was seen sneaking out of Isi's room late one night. Rumors flew. When pressed, Kwaku admitted they had been seeing each other for months, not knowing they were half-siblings. The installment was halted. The elders declared a period of mourning and investigation. The sacred stool remained empty, but the village was far from quiet. As tensions rose, more villagers began showing the same strange red mark on their bodies, the same one that appeared on Ama. Children, farmers, even one of the elders. Fear gripped Zizi again. Meanwhile, Ama and Kwaku, now in hiding, searched for answers. Nana Dd revealed an old legend that the mark wasn't a curse, but a calling. A sign that the land was ready to reveal the truth buried beneath centuries of silence. And then, a new visitor arrived in the village. A loud, flamboyant man who called himself Pastor Kojo. He claimed to be sent by God himself, and that only he could lift the curse of Zizi Village. Pastor Kojo quickly became a sensation. His fiery sermons, dramatic prayers, and midnight deliverance sessions drew large crowds. He declared that the red marks were spiritual infections, demons summoned by disobedience. People wept, rolled on the ground, and even vomited as he laid hands on them. But not everyone was convinced. Nana Didi watched him with suspicion. "He smells of secrets," she whispered to Amma when they secretly returned to the village one night. Amma, now hiding with Kwaku in the abandoned cocoa shed near the old mill, began digging into Pastor Kojo's past. She discovered something chilling. Pastor Kojo used to be called Kobina Nyame and had once lived in Zizi Village as a child. He was the illegitimate son of a previous chief, banished when his mother was accused of witchcraft and burned alive. He had vowed never to return, unless it was to destroy everything. One stormy night, Amma, disguised in a wrapper and headscarf, sneaked into Pastor Kojo's tent. There, she found old photos, bottles of strange herbs, and a journal written in Chi. It confirmed it. He had rigged the forbidden drum with ancient concoctions to reawaken the village's fear. But his plan spiraled out of control when Amma's blood triggered something deeper, something real. That same night, he was caught in the prayer tent with a married woman, hands roaming where they shouldn't be. When questioned, he claimed it was a spiritual cleansing that required intimate healing. The elders demanded answers. Cornered, Pastor Kojo finally confessed. He had come for revenge, not redemption. He wanted the village to tear itself apart. And he wasn't working alone. Before he could say more, someone stabbed him in the dark. He died in silence. But in his clenched hand, the elders found a map. A map leading to the old mud church at the edge of Zizi, long abandoned and said to be cursed with ghosts of missionaries. The real heart of the curse was still beating. And the gold hidden beneath it was about to surface. Amma and Kwaku followed the map to the edge of Zizi Village. There, half swallowed by jungle vines and termite hills, stood the abandoned mud church. Its cross was broken, its doors warped by time, but the whispers from inside were unmistakable. Inside, they found dusty pews, a cracked altar, and faded murals of white missionaries baptizing African converts. But beneath the altar was a trapdoor, sealed with rusted iron and symbols etched in bloodstone. Nana Didi joined them that night, carrying herbs, a calabash of black soap, and her mother's sacred beads. With prayers and chants, they opened the trapdoor. Below was a narrow tunnel filled with skeletons, rusted tools, and at the very bottom a massive chamber of gold. Masks, coins, statues, and artifacts all stolen from the Ajuana tribe centuries ago, buried by missionaries who claimed they had come to spread God's word. Amma realized the church was not just built on stolen land, it was built over a mass grave. The missionaries had sacrificed villagers, using the sacred drum to silence their souls. The curse wasn't a superstition, it was spiritual warfare, born from blood, betrayal, and greed. Meanwhile, Isi, now driven by ambition and resentment, discovered her mother Adwoa's hidden journal. It revealed that Adwoa had known about the gold and had planned for years to return and take it, not to share, but to sell. She had already made contact with foreign smugglers. Isi betrayed Kwaku and Amma by revealing their location. Armed men, led by a white businessman named Mr. Clark, stormed the church ruins. Kwaku was beaten. Nana Didi was shot in the leg. Amma tried to flee but was caught. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, a loud blast shook the tunnel. The villagers, led by youths who had finally seen through the lies, arrived with machetes and fire. The smugglers retreated. Mr. Clark vanished into the forest. Amma, limping and bleeding, stood before the chamber and made a choice. She took the sacred drum and hit it, once, twice, 3 times. The ground rumbled. But this time, it wasn't death that followed. It was revelation. The bones of the buried began to turn to dust. The gold shimmered with light. And above ground, the red marks on the villagers began to fade, but the story wasn't over. Because deep in the forest, someone else was watching, waiting. And the final bloodline had yet to be revealed.